As a dad, we should have children, and we think of ourselves when we were their age, and we try to advise them the best we can, so that they don't make the same mistakes we've made, and because we've experienced some things, and we understand some things. But as they continue to get older, in their teenage years and early 20s, it's kind of difficult. Maybe difficult sometimes, I should say. Maybe difficult sometimes to get through to them with the information that you know and you understand. And I know for me, it hurts a little bit when what you're saying, they're listening, and they appear to say that they understand, but their actions are going to be, of course, their own. And it may be a little difficult to see that, or even if they don't listen, and their actions are still going to be their own, of course. It's always a positive when they actually take heed to what you're saying. Like at 17 and 18, man, like when I think back, when I was a child at that age, I think back to what I was doing. I try to remember like what was my character, like when people were saying things to me and trying to give me some advice, like how was I responding to it? What was I saying? What were my actions? And I think because I was raised with my grandparents, I gave the appearance like I was listening and understood. I believe, this is my own thought process as I think back to it. But I know that I followed my own ideal. I followed my own path to try to do the things in which I wanted to do. And I kind of understand now how it feels for a parent to talk to their children and try to give them direction and guidance. And then feel like, man, that direction and guidance is not really, it seems like it's going in one ear and right out the other. And you never really know, I guess until they become of age, because, life experiences kind of teach you. As I was talking to, my oldest, at one point, I understand him and I understand what he was trying to do, but I'm also trying to get him to get started with something, but he has his own ideal, he has his own way of doing things. I guess it's just now, just like as I just dropped him off, just now I realized in my mind that I can't force it on him. I mean, not that I just now realize it, but it's like it's ever clear to me that I can't force it on him. He has to go through the experience, and I just got to keep doing my best to teach in a way where he can understand. And I guess that's what we have to do as dads. We have to explain this thing, to our children as best we can about this whole life stuff, and about and especially now, like with all the avenues of success that can take place in a person's life because of the internet. Man, there's so many things that we as adults, dads and children alike can do to garner our own success with no middleman. And so that kind of stuff, man, I try to relate to my oldest and to my second born, so that they can build something for themselves without having to depend upon something else. But I depend upon, like, let's say some other corporation or something like that. They can actually do it themselves. And as I explain these things to them and try to get that across, and even try to do it myself, like I'm on this thing now, you know, as a husband, as a dad, trying to build something, you know. And maybe it is that, you know, maybe it is to show and prove, you know, to them that it's possible, even at my age, you know, even at my age, and even more possible if you're younger, you know, because, you know, the youth are man, the youth are a powerful tool in a society. You know, powerful tool in a society. And I just want to see not only my children, you know, I want everybody's child to be able to use their talent, man. To be able to use their talent to gain wealth, to gain, you know, to gain what it is they need in this life, you know, because everybody is uniquely them, and everybody has a unique perspective, and that perspective is needed. Society needs all of our perspectives. We need each and every last one, you know, one of us to share our perspective, to share our worlds. I'm not saying you give everybody everything, you can give them all your information, but man, it's like we've been so dependent upon others to validate us in this society, right? And now we're in an age where there's no need for anybody to validate you. You know, you don't have to have validation from one person in order to green light you to do something. You know, just do it yourself. You know, and it takes perseverance and effort. No different than when, you know, we try to go look for jobs in the you know, in times past. You know, we spend time creating a resume and searching, and there was a time when we walked from business to business. You know, here in Chicago, we take the train or the bus. Now we don't have to do that. You know, we have the world at our fingertips, and we carry the world in our hand. You know, and try to get that through to our children, you know, is most important. Especially, you know, when you think about the era that, you know, at least I come from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. You know, it's a completely different era now. Things are completely different, and we can gain success and gain a whole lot more because of this era. You know, it's a great time. You know, just trying to teach our children, just trying to teach my children. You know, at least my two oldest right now that can really take some time and do what it is that they can do it. You know, using the web and using, you know, this modality of internet to create something for themselves at an early age. You know, hopefully I'm not rambling on. I hope I'm getting some of what I'm saying is being understood. You know, it's just you know, when I talked to my children, and when I was talking to my oldest today, you know, just to see the reaction, you know, it hurts a little bit. Not saying it was a bad reaction, but of course they don't see what you see. You know, it hurts that, you know, man. And so I just had to sit back. You know, I just had to sit back and say, okay, you know, I give what I can, and hopefully, you know, as time goes on, you will see. Hopefully, our children can understand where we're coming from. And maybe they do. Maybe my son really truly understands where I'm coming from, and I'm just the one tripping. I'm being sensitive. Because I know what I went through as a teenager, trying to live in this society with kind of minimal direction. With that the cliche, stereotypical ideal of what success is, and I followed that model and tried that model, and completely frustrated now because of I listened to what outsiders were saying was the best thing to do. Now I'm trying to get rid of student loan debt, and I don't know, it's just a whole lot of things that, not that I regret, but I just wish I would have had some different direction. Like somebody could actually ask somebody to actually do what I'm trying to do with my children. Somebody to actually share the pitfalls and get understanding on like this life, and truly understanding how to operate in this world, as an adult, trying to build something. I was trained on the mindset of, get a degree, get a job, go work at the post office. And it wasn't until I was in my, late 20s, early 30s that I even started thinking about doing something on my own, entrepreneurship, or trying to use my individual talent to build something. And it wasn't until my late 30s, early 40s that, I pushed forward and tried to make it happen. And it's never too late, but it's like, man, you just wish, of course, I guess you always wish that, you could have started something earlier when you catch on and realize what is actually happening in this society. Yeah. So to all the dads out there, man, I will say, don't pressure your children. There was a point when I was having my conversation, just a few moments ago with my son, that I felt that I was giving too much, and so I pulled back, and I just, I let what I had said stand, and if he had anything else to say, then he said it, and then that was what it was, and I left it where it is. And I'm still going to try to figure out ways to reach him. Still going to try to figure out ways to give them understanding from my perspective as as an adult. So that they can be, so they can escape some of the things or some of the mistakes that I've made. Like one thing I told him today, and I think he understands it too. I told him that, anytime that you have something that you are able to, do, like anytime that like you have an opportunity, put it like this, anytime you have an opportunity that comes before you, and you could take advantage of it, take advantage of it. Like there was this one time, I always tell this example to them. So there's this one time that I had 2 interviews, and they were both, now in retrospect, they were both good positions, very good positions. But I went to one, and I rocked the interview and got it. I got the job actually, and I just negated the other one. And I didn't even take the, I didn't even, I was in my early 20s. I didn't even think to, once I got the one, I thought that was it, And not that I regret it, but I kind of I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't at least try and take the interview. And at least sit and talk to the people. Because I I could have. The appointment was set. I just didn't go. And man, it eats at me to this day. And so I try to, tell my children, hey, if there's an opportunity that arises, no matter what it is, take the opportunity, try it. If the door opens, see what it's about. And I mean something meaningful. I'm not talking about something like, somebody sends you an email about, making $50,000 and $5,000 a week. I'm not talking about stuff like that. I'm talking about something that's like really, that would substantially benefit your life, and something that's proven. Like these two interviews I had. I mean, one was with a federal agency, the other one was with a very popular grocery chain. And they were both, like top tier positions. One was a regional manager, and the other one was an investigator, federal agent of a federal agency. So, and I chose the investigator and negated the regional manager. Man. And you live and you learn. So I just, so dads out there, whether this helps or not, I don't know. But do your best to give your children the insight that they need. And the insight that they need to understand your mistakes. They need to understand they need to understand what not to do. They need to understand what not to do. So, and that's what I'm trying. I'm trying to give them as much as I can, so that as they grow older, they can actually have something to glean from. They have that direction. There's no manual to fatherhood. There's no manual to being a husband. But at least you could give something that would be some kind of instruction, that will lend some kind of instruction to them. So, all right, you all take it easy. This is a very heartfelt matter for me. Hopefully, you understand where I'm coming from. And if you don't, leave a comment. Give me your thoughts on what I'm saying. And, I'll see you all next time. So.